to let everyone in the meeting, and then we'll start. So hi everyone, and welcome to this webinar hosted by LignoCity. Today we will hear a bit about scaling up of bio-based processes, and Juho-Matti Karpale from LignEasy and Blomberg Saitton from RISE will be presenting. So this webinar is hosted by a project called Lignin for Future, which is a collaboration partner between RISE, the municipality of Kristinehamn, Paper Province, Bioeconomy, and Nordic Paper. And this project is funded by the EU Structural Funds program and the Region of Värmland and also the project partners. So welcome to everyone joining right now. My name is Katarina Olsson and I work at LignoCity within RISE. And once again, today we will hear a bit about scaling up of bio-based processes. We will start with Juho-Matti Karpale from LignEasy, and then we'll continue with Blomberg Saitton from RISE. And please mute your microphones when you're joining the meeting, and hopefully we will hear the presenters. So we will start with both these presentations, and afterwards we will have time for some questions. This webinar will be recorded, and it will be available online later on. So welcome, Juho-Matti Karpale from LigneEasy. We're so very happy to have you in this webinar and also being a part of LignoCity in Bäckhammar. Please present yourself and then continue with your presentation.
Thanks a lot. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to meet you all. So yeah, my name Juho-Matti Karpale. I'm representing CEO in the company LigneAsy that I'm representing here. Maybe a few words about my background. I'm a chemical engineer in education. Started my professional career in let's say in a sweet business, in a sugar business in Finland. And there I basically worked in different scaling up of different separation processes from laboratory scale to plant scale, and starting up a few commercial processes as well. And then maybe a quite funny thing about me, I also was running a craft brewery in Finland for 8 years. So basically doing beer and selling it, and sometimes even enjoying the best part of the product. So today I'm probably should be sharing the screen as well. I hope you can see the presentation at the moment.
It looks good. Thank you.
Good. So yeah, I'm sitting here in Bäckhammar in LignoCity. So the message is coming straight from the next to the process that we are here. LigneAsy as a company, we were started basically not long ago, 2 years ago. So we are basically a startup company, and we are residing in Finland, of course, as if not mentioned. And we are a technology development company. LigneAsy has patented technology for chemical-free lignin separation technology for kraft pulp mills. The founders of LigneAsy company, they have been working with lignin for, let's say, decades. And they came up with an idea for this chemical-free separation just through some other projects in lignin, and coming up with an idea when seeing some unconventional behavior in the lignin molecule. As we all know, lignin has a great potential in replacing fossil-based raw materials, decreasing CO2 emissions. And the world cannot wait, of course. We have to do our own part for fighting the global warming and the climate change. Think about the history of the company. 2 years ago, we started in a laboratory in a proof of concept testing for the separation method for lignin. And already then, as a very small company, we were thinking about the next phase, the piloting phase, thinking about the funding of it, and the partners to be involved. So already like 1.5 years ago, we first contacted LignoCity people and representing our technology, our ideas on our roadmap to them. And at the same time, we were applying for this EU funding called EIC Accelerator. And having an opportunity to already in that application phase to say that, okay, we have thought about this place to pilot the technology to be sited in Sweden, in the Bäckhammar. It already puts more let's say meat to the bones in the European Union world when you think about spreading it up in 2 countries. So already having a global dimension, although we are very close neighbors. So we've been in contact with LignoCity quite a long time ago already, but now since the start of February, we already started building the pilot plant here in their process area. Just some common things coming to our technology. So, you know, lignin being burned for energy in the pulp mills currently, and just describing the potential and how much is it going to the energy needs for energy production, although it could be used for more high value products. So there is 15 million tons in Europe alone. And there is a certain technology gap in the technology world of lignin separation, because kraft pulp mills don't like extra sulfur in their process. So the current lignin separation system is in a way disrupting the pulp mill's chemical balance and also increasing the mill to pump the harmful sulfates to the environment. So, and of course, there is a growing need on the chemical industry, on the packaging industry for renewable materials for their production. And our solution for more, let's say, affordable, more easy way to separate lignin from the black liquor is a sulfuric acid-free technology. It's based on our patented filtration method, and it's producing high-value lignin, and of course reducing the pulp mill's emissions. In that case, we can take the part of the black liquor to our needs. And the product coming from the process is basically what that we believe is a very good kind of a drop-in type of product for many solutions. For example, for packaging materials, talking about cardboard especially, and for the chemical industry as a raw material. It comes out as a liquid product, highly concentrated liquid product, and of course it can be also dried, because well, the dried product containing less water, so it's of course more better choice than globally transporting water around. One unique feature of our product, lignin product, is that it is low in odor. So basically, it can be used in applications and solutions where the kind of the typical odor of kraft lignin is not a wanted feature. What we are looking at as our, first market approaches for the lignin product, and why we are also looking at the products, although we are mainly developing the technology, is that we have found out already in the early phase that we, as a startup company and a company who is seeking for partners around the business, so we need to also demonstrate that the market is actually existing and growing, and there is a need for lignin in the application area. So that's a very important part of our business that we also do. The two main product areas, cardboard packaging solutions, that we can already use our liquid product as a drop-in use case for enhancing the cardboard in properties like water resistance and stronger board with recycled fibers, gluing those together. And on the other side, plywood glue, their phenolic resins. Of course, we can use this lignin to replace phenol there in 50% of the substance. And there are several other end uses as well that can be linked to our product. Different polymers, adhesives, elastomers, polyurethane. Of course, when you go further down to the path of depolymerization and things like that, biochemicals and composites. And this next slide, giving a broader view, like for our R&D, in the top line, we may see the application areas that we put our effort mostly at the moment, doing our own research, doing research with different institutes and companies directly. Getting further here, our competitive advantages when you talk about pulp mills for the technology use, less sulfates discharge, no hydrogen sulfide issues, and also chemical compensation costs per ton of lignin produced as sodium hydroxide. And for the most end-use customers, we can show that by using our lignin that dissolves easily, we can show that there is a potential decrease in processing time, and also the low in order type of product is of interest. And this all comes up to the savings in raw material costs in the application end. And it's easy and safe to process. The lignin supply, just trying to emphasize the urgency and the need for solutions, and also the supply side, that there is quite a lot of lignin around the European Union, circling around the pipes of pulp mills in black liquor. So you take about 25% of the black liquor without causing any issues in the pulp mill energy production for separation. Then at the LignoCity, as I described, we've been here since February this year, starting out operations, getting to know with the people here and with the other companies around the LignoCity. And the place, basically, when doing that early work, finding out possibilities and building our roadmap ideas and things like that, we found out that this is actually maybe the only place in the world to do the kind of a development and pilot plant, building the pilot plant for lignin separation like ours, because it's existing and we have all the existing equipments at our need in here to use for the process, basically on place. So we don't have to start from scratch. Basically, it would be quite costly to start building a pilot plant in this size from scratch. So it's an exceptionally good way for us to demonstrate the technology, and it's a technologically relevant environment in that sense that LignoBoost process was developed here in the same process area. So anything that we come out with this piloting here, it will be done in a technology relevant environment. Being next to a pulp mill, having fresh feed material in our hands, that's exceptionally good place to be. Thinking about just the raw material, you know, that it's fresh, it's not been stored for months to be then used for separation of lignin. Having all the utilities here, and of course the personnel working here, been very pleased to work with the people here who are very good at what they do. And here you can see the place reserved for our core equipment, which is now coming this year to be installed, so that we can start the full operations in the end of summer. The size of the pilot, it's planned to be around 1 ton per day of lignin produced, and this will basically be done in a way that we can make certain pilot size batches for end-use customer testing and for piloting there. And as I mentioned, this is part of the EU project from the EIC Accelerator grant that we received last year. Our team consists of 7 people. Working here at Bäckhammar is me, Topias, who is our technology manager, and Laura Lehtinen, also here present in Bäckhammar as a development engineer. Our founders, Erik and Ville, strongly together with the team, and then we have Kaija, who's working as our development engineer doing master's thesis at the moment. I think I'm roughly about at the end of my presentation at the moment. So thank you very much for letting me have this opportunity to present you our company, and hoping to see you here in LignoCity. Thank you.
Thank you, Juho-Matti, for your presentation. Really nice to hear about what you want to do. And of course, all of us loves lignin. That's why we're here and want to do the best of it. We will continue with David. So you can start to share your presentation. And if you have any questions for Juho-Matti, please write them in the chat, and we'll get back to that after David's presentation.
Super. Now you can hear me as well.
Yes, we hear you, and I think we're still waiting for a full screen of your presentation.
Yeah, you are. But now.
Now looks good. Go ahead.
So thanks, Katarina. So just some brief introduction. I'm working at RISE as a business developer, and I've been heavily involved in this Bioeconomy Arena, where I will try to present at least parts of the Bioeconomy Arena. It's a big investment project actually at RISE. So in the beginning, I would like to emphasize this model or whatever. We can work in laboratory scale, pilot scale, and demo scale, and this is one of the important parts of scaling up a process, trying to reach higher TRL, and eventually, of course, trying to reach a market with a product. And for this purpose, this infrastructure that we at RISE, we own, well, something between 130 and 150 test beds, as we call them, for different purposes. And what I will cover in this presentation is well, more or less the equipment that we have in the bioeconomy area or even in the biorefinery area. So I will not cover everything. So, but we got a task from the government in 2021. We were supposed then to improve the conditions for commercialization of these kind of new products and new solutions, bio-based solutions. And with that also contribute to new businesses and business investments by establishing this world-class center for scaling up these biorefinery processes. And we made it like we completed this task, or we are on the verge to complete it. But our idea behind this was actually to modernize existing equipment that we have, filling gaps in the existing infrastructure that we have, and also building up a new pilot hall with test beds, and that was placed actually in Örnsköldsvik. And Katarina, do you see my? I don't see anything on my slides here, but do you see me?
Yes, we see at the top of the screen. At least I do.
Yeah, I will try to do this.
I can look out the window. Yes.
Yeah, and that's the pilot hall that we are building here in Örnsköldsvik. So it's actually just sitting outside my window, and that's a part of the Bioeconomy Arena. So with this from the government and also 350 million Swedish kronor, 32 million euros something, we received from the government. So the Bioeconomy Arena, as mentioned on the previous slide, I would say it's an investment project where we invest in infrastructure for biorefinery processes to like increase the speed for commercialization. We try to do development with different types of companies, big companies, small companies, and so on. And as you can see on the map also, that we are investing in equipment from Piteå in the north to Borås in the south at different RISE site. And I can say also that we are making one bigger investment in Bäckhammar regarding odor-free lignin. Maybe we can have a question about that later, Katarina. So the areas that we actually chose to invest in is these. And this was actually done by interviewing, well, somewhat above 100 companies in the, well, what do they think they need in the future? What's the strategy? What's in it for them? What do they want us to invest in? So overall, you can say we invested in 4 different process types, so to speak. And one is pulping processes. One is chemical and thermochemical processes, so process development and thermochemical processes, you can say. One area is carbon capture storage, carbon capture utilization. And one big area in the investment project was also industrial biotechnology. And these 4 processes can be, of course, be applied to many different product areas, like food and feed, textiles, biochemicals, fuels, packaging, and so on, as you can see. So we have 4 major processes where we invest, and these can, of course, be applied in a huge number of different product sectors. So I would also like to take the opportunity to discuss the carbon-rich raw materials that we see that we actually can use to make a sustainable process. So one is, of course, recycling, where we can get the carbons. One is, of course, biomass. And the third one, that's maybe recycling or is it biomass? But carbon dioxide, of course, is also one big process stream that we can use. And even more, we can look at the pulp mill, for example. We can have a lot of different residual streams from the pulp mill. And of course, lignin separation is one of the options, but for sure also forestry residuals and agriculture residuals. And in this area, we find a lot of residual, I would say, biomass that can be used as starting material for a biorefinery process. And then what is a biorefinery process really? I like to be very broad on this, so that could be more or less anything. But in the bioeconomy arena, we have to the left, if you see there, the raw material is coming in from the left side here. And then we have a lot of different, initial techniques that can be used to modify the biomass into something that is more handleable for producing biochemicals or biofuels or other products. So we can have anaerobic digestion, where we produce methane. We can have biotechnology, and it's a sugar, I would say, sugar-based technology, where you use the sugar in the residual stream to ferment a lot of different biochemicals. You have the possibility, of course. Pyrolysis, fast pyrolysis is also one technique where you liquefy the biomass more or less. We have hydrothermal processing, and in that I include hydrothermal liquefaction and hydrothermal carbonization and that type of processes, where you also either liquefy or carbonize bio-based materials. And in the bottom there you see also gasification. And the gasification is, of course, a really mature technique based on fossil raw materials. But starting with the bio-based material, there can be a lot of research questions to be answered before we are on top of that. And after this initial process, you have a lot of downstream processing units for hydrogenation. You can do process development. We have catalysis. We have also invested in electrochemistry. And a lot of this is also dependent on analysis, of course, chemical analysis, I mean with that. And this, of course, becomes quite tricky situation to see what raw material do we have, what kind of process is the most suitable, and what kind of product are we aiming for? Is it food, or is it SAF, or is it a biochemical? So, of course, we also have techniques that support how to choose among all these different alternatives that we have. We can do system analysis, we can do simulations, Aspen, for example. We have techno-economic assessment, we have life cycle assessments, and so on, to actually see that we are choosing the right path. So this is a bit complex, but it's a really interesting area. So you can look upon this scaling up with different techniques, also that we have certain areas where we are building up capacity in all different sizes, so to speak. So in the biotech area, we can, for sure, we can start with the agar plates, we can go for shake flasks, small bioreactors, larger bioreactors, and really big bioreactors. And down to the right, you can see something that happened yesterday. So we installed two 10 cubic meter reactors for the biotechnology, for the fermentation part of the biotech investment. So it's an ongoing installation work there. And you can mention also connected to this area also we have this high throughput screening facility, and where you can actually select the best bug from a collection, and also downstream processing, of course. Another way to view it is to more or less look at the value chain. So carbon capture utilization or carbon capture storage, we have built up this kind of value chain in container-based solutions for capturing in the first place. So you can capture the carbon dioxide from flue gases from whatever pulp mills or combined heat and power plants and so on. And you can take it further on to a purification and liquefaction infrastructure that we built up. So you can actually then go from flue gases into a liquefied stream of pure carbon dioxide that then can be used then in one investment that we have done in electrochemistry. So actually to produce chemicals out from CO2 using electrochemistry. And of course, we also have catalysis, that is one option for valorizing carbon dioxide into chemicals. So with that, I actually would like to thank you all. And if you're interested to see the pilot hall in real life, you're welcome to the Nordic Wood Biorefiner Conference that will be held here in Örnsköldsvik in October. So I think there's still opportunity to sign up for this conference. So I'm happy to take questions if there are any. So thanks.
Thank you, David, so much for this presentation. And we can do a lot within RISE and have a lot of possibilities. In LignoCity, we will also be at the Nordic Wood Biorefiner Conference. I hope that all of you will join. We will now stop the recording. This recording will be available on our YouTube channel, and there will also be posts about it on our LinkedIn channel. So please follow LignoCity on LinkedIn. So now we'll stop the recording.